I think that's the dumbest one we've ever done.
More so than me wearing the Ben Tramer
Way
mask.
dumber than the Ben Tramer mask.
I think one of them a couple weeks ago, I was using the wherever I threw it. Oh yeah, the dinosaur that I won in the crane machine. The one time Laura wasn't there when I was going to see a movie and won stuff. Like, oh, I won this for no one.
You won it for you.
It's for me.
This movie had a moral, and it was love yourself.
That's true. I am still gonna give it to Laura when she gets back to town. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. So we went to go see
Isn't It Romantic?
Isn't It Romantic, which is the movie starring Rebel Wilson, where she plays an architect who hates romantic comedies, and romance bonks her head and ends up in a rom-com, in like a stereotypical rom-com. It becomes like a parody universe where she suddenly has the gay best friend. A couple of musical numbers will happen.
Her lady friend is suddenly her worst enemy.
That was one of my favorite parts of this movie. We talked about this a little bit when we talked about the trailer a few times, and having seen the movie, it is kind of true. It feels like this is the better version of I Feel Pretty.
Yeah, I'm sitting there the entire movie thinking, I wish I hadn't seen I Feel Pretty.
Yeah.
Because this feels like the better version of that.
It is.
But it still had a lot of the same, broad strokes plot-wise. And so, I feel like I probably would have enjoyed it more if I hadn't seen I Feel Pretty. Because I Feel Pretty, it set out to subvert a lot of the tropes that it ended up just, portraying. Whereas this movie, I think it did a much better job of, calling out the things that it wanted to call out and actually spoofing them instead of just doing them again.
Yeah. I mean, the movie, not without its flaws, certainly, but, it was just also a much funnier movie.
Yeah.
I Feel Pretty was the one with Amy Schumer, where, again, it's a situation where she bonks her head and then thinks of herself like a model when she comes to. Honestly, this is even better than what I saw last week, which again involved someone bonking their head and something happened to them. This was better than What Men Want.
Apparently super cool things happening when you bonk your head.
I know, right? I bonked my head and wrote Hooker with a Heart of Gold.
No, you bonked your foot and wrote Hooker with a Heart of Gold.
Oh, that's right. It was the foot. See, in real life, it's always the foot. No, I just thought this was a much funnier movie. I actually really had a good time with this film. I enjoyed all of the spoofing and the cliches that they were doing in this film. I liked that it was funny when she's best friends with someone in the real world, and then she becomes her mortal enemy, in the parody universe. And there were one of the things that was really cracking me up throughout this movie was how much detail was being paid attention to the sets and the backgrounds.
Every other store was a cupcake shop.
Yeah, and things going on in the background. Even her former friend who is now her enemy, you'll just see her in the background just scowling at her and doing things like that. I enjoyed all of that. I liked things that they're doing in this film that in a rom-com would work, and meaning the part where she's on a date with Liam Hemsworth and they break into an ice cream shop. Because it's this date they're going on. They break into an ice cream shop and they're comparing ice cream with each other, and they do just illegal things throughout this movie. And
the cops come and they're like, "Oh, better go," and they're just fucking fine.
Yeah. There's often just crazy stuff going on in the background of this film. Just
the one-off jokes was just making me laugh the most, because every time she throws something out the window, you'd hear someone on the ground floor be like, "Oh, thanks, I needed an alarm clock."
Yeah. I did. It cracked me up quite a bit. I was enjoying. It's the most I've liked Liam Hemsworth in something. Also, it's the most I've liked Rebel Wilson in something too. There's movies I've seen her in where I've liked her just fine.
Well, her and Adam What's-His-Face were the best parts of the Pitch Perfect movies I found. I never did see the third one, but the first and the second one. The second one, when they're when they sing the "We Belong Together" duet, and she's like slowly drifting toward him on a boat. It's fucking funny, man. And so it was nice to see them as a couple again.
Yeah, I've only seen the third one, which I think is bad news.
Oh no! Well, watch the second one because there's a really funny scene where she's slowly drifting toward him in a fucking boat, singing "We Belong Together."
Was he in the third? I can't even. I just remember the third one was bad, and I didn't care much for her in the third one. I don't even remember if he was in it or not. Maybe I can't remember. I mean, he's. One thing I'll say about him in this movie is he's doing a pitch-perfect Jason Bateman impression.
Is he?
I thought so. I thought he was Batemaning the shit out of it. No, he's like, don't get me wrong, he's totally likable in this movie. But I was, that was who, like, in his line delivery, little thing asides, he's not so much the sarcastic end, because he's not really like a sarcastic character like you'll see Bateman playing, but his delivery was reminding me a lot of it.
playing himself again, which was fine.
Yeah, maybe you've seen him in a few more things than I have. I didn't see that one. Wasn't he in the one with Aubrey Plaza where it's like some Mike and Dave need wedding dates or something like that? Was that him? Did you? I wasn't.
No, I don't know.
I wasn't at that one, but
I'd have to Google it.
Yeah.
I remember nothing about that movie.
All I remember is I remember
that I saw it, apparently.
Yeah, I remember that I didn't see it. Which even then I don't think makes any bit of difference. I thought she was really, really funny in this. There's been some things I didn't care too much for her in, and other things I thought she was fine. She was cracking me up quite a bit in this. Just a movie like this is dependent on the actor certainly having good reactions to things that are going on around them, and she was really, really selling that.
Like there's a scene where like she trips and Liam Hemsworth like catches her and it starts raining and she's like, "This is so dumb," and he starts kissing her and he pulls away and she's like, "Nah, I call bullshit."
Yeah, she was her delivery was really good in the film. I mean, she was a good choice for this role. The movie is. I kind of like, I guess you were saying with I Feel Pretty, although this is a much better movie and it's much, much funnier. It is one of those films that like it is doing a send up of all these rom-coms and everything, and is doing a good job at it. Like it is a lot of laughs that are in the movie it certainly helps when you've seen a lot of movies like that, which you and I have. So I mean, it is fun seeing. They even have like they even make the and this is an old joke that gets referenced a lot, but they even got a laugh out of referencing the When Harry Met Sally.
He's doing like the orgasm scene. Yeah, one of the things I wish because. Like, for me, the worst part of this movie is the first 10 minutes when they're, like, methodically setting up the premise so they can bonk her on the head and put her in the romantic comedy world. Yeah. And one of the things they do is they have her, like, go on this whole diatribe about all the things that she doesn't like about romantic comedies so that when they do all those things, it can be like, "Oh, yeah!" And, like, for speaking from the perspective of someone who's seen a lot of romantic comedies, I wish that they hadn't done that and just, like, trusted me to recognize what they were making fun of. But I feel like that maybe that was important so that, like, even people who only have like a passing familiarity with the genre would still recognize them. I understand why they did it. It went on a little long. Yeah. It went on long. That was the joke, but yeah. You're right. They do reference that she's talking about this for a long time. But it got to a point where it was like I think she's telling me the entire movie I'm about to see. And kind of like what you were saying with I Feel Pretty earlier, and even just now, like it is a movie that's certainly parodying all these things and doing a good job at it, way better than I Feel Pretty did. But it does still kind of fall into the trappings of the kind of movie that it's parodying. Sort of like what you're saying with the first 10 minutes of the movie. It already kind of and I know that at the end of the day, regardless of that it's parodying this kind of film, it is still this kind of movie. I mean, it's out on Valentine's Day. But even before she bonks her head... it already sort of feels like it's a rom-com. Yeah, because he's looking over, like, just really blatantly oogling her. Yeah. Like, "You couldn't be oogling me, I'm nobody special." It's like, fuck you! I know, it was still kind of falling into those trappings, like, without really parody. I mean, later it does, but there are parts where it's sort of being genuine with the things that it's also spoofing. So even in the first 5-10 minutes of the movie,
I mean, you know where the arc of this movie's gonna go, like between her having the hots for Liam Hemsworth, and then Adam Devine is the best friend, and it's like, okay, well, I know this already sort of feels like it's in a rom-com, like right down to there's still even kind of being pratfalls, like when she gets hit by the food cart at the beginning of it.
I loudly sighed when that happened, because like it's like a falafel stand is rolling towards her, and the guy's like chasing her, like, stop it with your body, and she's standing there like, what? No, I can't, like not moving out of the way. So of course it bonks off of her, and she like falls over. He's like, you're built like a cement truck.
Like, why did that even happen?
In case we didn't know she was a large woman,
right?
It, like, didn't occur to us until that moment.
Oh, I got it. Gotcha, movie.
It's the Melissa McCarthy on a scooter joke.
yeah. So I mean, it was doing some things like that, and even towards the end of the film, where I'm like, you're. I mean, it's not like I'm expecting this movie to be wildly unpredictable, but maybe like, I don't know. What if it still did kind of turn a lot of this stuff on its head? I mean, it would require a big rewrite, but like, if it did turn a lot of this stuff on its head, and I don't know, maybe she did end up with Liam Hemsworth, or maybe nobody at the end of the film.
Even if she ended up with nobody, it would have been like that Reese Witherspoon and her Three Tiny Boyfriends movie.
Oh, yeah. What was that? Home Again?
Reese Witherspoon and her Three Tiny Boyfriends is the only name that will ever stick in my brain.
Where the best part of it was Michael Sheen, who's supposed to be the villain.
Yeah, he just keeps showing up in like more and more dad energy sweaters.
I know, yeah. I'm like, I'm rooting for this guy. I don't like these three other guys.
You're really rooting for him because he was Michael Sheen.
You're 1,000% right.
He's such a douchebag, but he looked good in them sweaters.
I know, yeah. They referenced Sweet Home Alabama in this movie.
They did. I thought that was really charming, because like, one of the many things that annoyed me about I Feel Pretty was like Amy Schumer had like the two best friends played by Busy Phillips and someone else.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, they obviously didn't actually like each other,
right?
Which is like one of the like ways in which I feel like the movie was just like supporting the system it was trying to rail against. But at any rate, her best friend in this, not only did her and Rebel Wilson have like really good chemistry,
they did
together,
really
but
well.
that little girl was like low key really funny. Like when she was doing like the evil bitch character,
she was really funny.
But then also like when she was a friend character in the real world, and she was like, so well, you know, I'll wake up in the morning and try to be like. And then I'll watch the news and I'll be like, then I'll watch Sweet Home Alabama. And I'm like,
I know, right? I'm like, I feel you. I know what you're talking about
all
there.
Those faces you just made.
Exactly. She was a really relatable character, and like, I don't know what else I've seen this actress in, but I mean, even
I didn't recognize her
in this role alone. She proves she can be versatile. Because I mean, she was selling both sides of this character, the best friend part of it at the beginning, and then when she becomes like
she evil, looks like a completely different person. There was one funny. Speaking of looking like a completely different person, there was one joke this movie didn't make that I wish it had, and that's when she woke up in the hospital, very obviously wearing fake eyelashes when she hadn't up until that moment. You know, if you don't wear fake eyelashes, that's like the first thing you'd notice about your face when you woke up in the hospital. Like, what is stuck to me? Like I kept expecting her to acknowledge that, but apparently no. We're just gonna pretend everyone in Hollywood has eyelashes that are like there, like the big snuffleupagus eyelashes.
It's kind of like I was saying earlier. It's like, even though it's parodying these movies at the end of the day, I guess it is still
it's still one of those movies. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's still one of those movies. Like, you know, it was funny. Like I laughed out. I laughed out like quite a bit in this movie, regardless of any kind of like story quarrel I maybe have with it. It was funny, and it's a good Valentine's Day date movie, and plus it's only like 88 minutes long.
It is. That shit flew by. Plus they only gave us like 4 trailers.
They did, yeah. Which right away makes I thought this was a funnier movie than What Men Want that I saw last week, and also much shorter because that movie was almost 2 hours long that we saw last week.
Oh God. We
got out of the theater late.
Can we talk about the gay best friend? Because he was the best part of the movie.
He was fucking hilarious.
So, like, she's got this next door neighbor in the real world, and he's like, she thinks he's like a ladies' man. Of course, it turns out not to be at the end. Spoiler alert. But within the universe of the romantic comedy that she finds herself trapped, she's got like, he keeps fucking popping up out of nowhere, like Uncle What's His Face from Bewitched.
Like Uncle Arthur?
Yeah. He's just kind of like, here I am.
Yeah,
Gay best friend. Like, they watched the Patton Oswalt bit, and they're like, I have an idea.
That's what it was. Like, I'm even going to have to take a look at the script for that a Hallmark parody that I wrote, because this same character is in it. I'm like, I have to make sure that there's not the same jokes in
Did you sleep with Liam Hemsworth? Because maybe he stole your plans.
That's what it was. That damn handsome bastard stole my plans. My Hallmark movie parody.
And it's like a separate conversation of how like deliciously cartoonishly evil they made him for, like, again, for the romantic comedy trope of like, and then suddenly he's so awful that you don't care that she's breaking up with him.
Yeah,
the
gay best, I like that he is saying in the movie how like he has nothing else going on and he doesn't even have a job.
I've changed my whole life for this. And she's like, you're like, why are you acting? You're like being like a bad stereotype of a gay person. He's like, oh, my Atlanta.
Yeah.
But then like he has a humanizing moment towards the end where he's kind of like talking about like his life, which again is more than the gay best friend would normally get in a movie like this.
Yeah, and I mean, they flat out say he has no job, and like this is everything he lives for.
And I do wish they'd done the clothing montage, because I fucking love a clothing montage.
I know, same here.
But like, they reference it, and then the end when she like runs into him, it turns out he is actually gay. He just doesn't act like that. He's like, oh, so I'm supposed to be like a flouncy and prancy, like, oh, are you a Virgo? I'm a Virgo.
Yeah, he's a drug
gay man can't be a pot dealer.
She gives him a hug, and he's like, "Do you want to buy drugs from me?" Like, no, that was funny stuff. I laughed quite a bit at the movie. So I mean, if you're looking for a good date movie to go see this weekend, with it being Valentine's Day and everything, this is a good one. And honestly, so is Happy Death Day to You. Like even as like. Even as a date movie, that movie also kind of works. It really does. Yeah. Irving and I had a lot of.
The first one?
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
What if someone's described the first one in minute detail to you? But if you've seen Final Destination, do you think that I could just like apply those credits?
No, because it's like if you were to go into Back to the Future 2 without seeing the first one. It's so dependent. It is really dependent on everything that happens in the first film. I mean, but granted, at the beginning of Happy Death Day 2, they do sum up the whole first movie. It does like, well, let me tell you what happened to me. And
so like Hellraiser 2. I had the VHS of Hellraiser 2 in college, and they're like, I never did see Hellraiser 1, but that's fine because the first 5 minutes is basically Hellraiser 1.
Yeah. I wish they did that shit in all those damn Underworld movies we went to go see that leave my... Oh, sure, they all open with text going, as it was written in the Great Stone of, like, oh, whatever. Just tell me what happened in the last movie.
So there's a musical out right now. It's called, like, it's basically a musical about, like, 3 chapters in the middle of the novel War and Peace. And so the first song is explaining the rest of War and Peace to you, so you're not completely lost.
Nice.
Introducing all the characters. Yeah. They should just do that at the beginning of every single movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, certainly. Well, I mean, at least in the case of Happy Death Day 2, it was only last year that the first one came out.
You can just go ahead and watch it.
It's good. They're both really good.
Have you seen Russian Doll?
No, but Laura was telling me about that earlier. Have you seen You? The one with the stalker one?
Nope.
You'd probably like that. It's good. The guy,
is it scary?
It gets pretty intense. But yeah, you would probably like it. It's like if you crossed like Fear with Dexter.
I liked Fear, but I didn't like Dexter, so maybe...
So maybe you'd like some of this.
the guy, exactly half of it.
Do you remember the guy in this who kept saying, like, throw my trash away?
Yeah.
He's in that show. He's the guy who works with the main villain of it.
Yeah, I don't mind going off on a tangent, because again, we've only got 4 trailers.
We've only got 4 trailers for this. What did we even get?
And one of the trailer, I was on my phone for, and you like literally got up and went to the
because
bathroom.
I've seen this trailer a bunch of times.
Motherfucking Breakthrough again.
Breakthrough. The ice is gonna break.
I'm training for the Olympics. This is a new trailer too, where they showed the church that they go to, and it's bigger than the fucking Springfield Mall.
It's a mega church.
It was literally a mega church
with Pastor Topher Grace.
Pastor fucking Topher Grace.
I'm like, I know why you're in this. You're in this for the same reason Seth Green was in The Identical. So you're like, check out this shit I was in. That was.
So you think he's doing it ironically, or you think he's sorboing?
No, I don't think sorboing, because that's an extreme other end of that situation.
Because I feel like for me, I'm okay with verbing it.
Yeah.
And for me, like, well, was Sorbo always Sorboing, and we just didn't realize it until he started being a shit like this?
I don't know. I mean, I guess, I'll still say this about Sorbo. Like, when he's in those movies, he's still the best part of them. You gotta separate the art from the artist, Sarah. You understand this? It also might be one of those things where when you go see a movie like God's Not Dead, you just gotta reach for something.
So Sorbo's like the life preserver in that movie.
Kind of.
Like fucking life preserver.
He's really good at it. Like, Dave and I reviewed that movie and we're like, damn, this piece of shit. But we're like, Sorbo was really good though. That happened when Laura and I reviewed One Nation Under God. We're like, damn, this piece of shit. But man, Sorbo was really good.
So he's like the black guy with the coffee mug of Saving Christmas.
Yeah, but I don't know if that guy was good.
That guy was a fucking genius.
If that guy was meaning to do what he did, then yes, he was a genius.
I'm willing to give him credit for that.
He was one of the best parts of that film. Breakthrough, though, doesn't even look like... Breakthrough looks like it's in that same category of ones like the one with Jennifer Garner, like the Miracles from Heaven or whatever it was called, where the kid fell out the tree.
He had like a brain tumor, but like a Jesus brain tumor.
Yeah. I think the falling out of the tree knocked the tumor out or something. I think I said true story. Who am I to argue? Like that, or Heaven is for Real, where it's just kind of like lame, really. Like that's kind of what this movie looks like.
I can just start keep listing off movies like this, like the one where the kid like moved the mountain with his mind, the power of God.
Oh, Little Boy. Yeah. That one had Kevin James in it.
Did it really? That's right, because he was the doctor.
Yeah,
it's like, you'll always be a little boy. And he's
that
like,
one was alright. That one, I think Dave and I thought that one was like alright, because I think it was maybe the first one of like the modern trend of that kind of movie that like wasn't a wretched piece of shit. So Dave and I were like, well, this one's fine. Breakthrough just looks like it'll be like really forgettable.
I just realized, like, in my heart, and this is a weird story, but like Kevin James, I'd always thought that there was nothing that I'd ever seen him in that I enjoyed. But then last Thanksgiving, I watched Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 with Dark Side of the Moon playing over it.
Yeah.
And it was a fucking transcendent experience. And I just realized bringing him up, like, made my heart warm. It's like, yeah, because he was in that really great movie. What was it? Oh, right! Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 with Dark Side of the Moon played over it.
I'm gonna go home and put on Holmes and Watson and play it to my golden age of wireless Thomas Dolby album.
You never know, apparently.
This movie's amazing. What else did we get? That was like only like a quarter of the two.
Men in Black International.
I don't care. Like, it might be fine. I don't know. Right? Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It's like, that looks like a movie.
we could talk about Liam Neeson, because apparently he's in that movie.
No, that was last week. There's got to be something. Didn't Ryan Adams do something?
Yeah.
I think I saw that trending.
I'll tell you what he didn't do is roam the streets looking for a black man to murder.
or did he?
I mean, pretty sure not. I think he definitely used sex as a... The problem is I didn't read a whole lot because I don't like or know Ryan Adams, so in my mind he was already canceled. But apparently he used to be married to Mandy Moore, and bunch of women have come forward saying like he coerced them for sex, dangling like musical careers over their heads for it, and probably assaulted a couple of them. So not great.
I saw him trending last night, so I just
assumed. I got him confused with Bryan Adams.
No, Bryan Adams, what'd you do?
Like, no, literally had that confusion for a second, and I'm like, Ryan Adams? Who's Ryan Adams? And Dave's like, oh, some asshole.
One of my favorite Twitter accounts to follow is the one that's called Never Heard of Him, where all it is just screen grabbing people responding to major stories and saying shit like that, like Ryan Adams, I don't know, never heard of him.
Yeah, they're really contributing to the conversation.
My other favorite one is the one that's freeze frame bot, where it's just like video, like 10-second video clips of like maybe someone on the news or just a video clip of something, and then it freeze frames on the person and you hear record scratch and it goes the narration like, yep, that's me.
What if I wonder how I got myself in this situation?
It's that and like Baba O'Reilly's playing. That's my other favorite account to follow now. I
follow Mads Mikkelsen doing things.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's just like, because he used to be like a dancer and a model, and so there's like Mads Mikkelsen front flipping into a splits. And it's just
I saw that.
Whip. I retweeted that.
Okay, that's how I saw it. Then.
And there's Mads Mikkelsen having trouble taking off a turtleneck sweater, and him like.
That is really
There was
hard.
Mads Mikkelsen making a little heart with his fingers because it's that thing that the kids are doing now. Because this is no longer a thing. This is the thing.
Oh, well, we surely made it a thing again with the thumbnail that we put up.
Bringing it back, baby.
What other ones? I can't believe we didn't get the other Rebel Wilson movie coming out. I mean,
is there?
Yeah, but I'm actually glad we didn't get that trailer. It looks bad. It's a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with her in the Steve Martin role and Anne Hathaway doing a really bad British accent in the Michael Caine role. It didn't look good at all.
The problem is I didn't like the original Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, so it's got nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, I like the original.
It's that kind of movie I don't like, where it's just people embarrassing each other for fun.
It is that. Yeah.
Terrible, horrible people embarrassing each other for fun. Could have been the alternate title of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Then I don't think you're really gonna like this remake.
Probably not.
It looks like it's even more so than the other one. I like the original.
I barely tolerated Heartbreakers, and that's because I had a crush on
the
Jason
Sigourney
Lee.
Weaver one.
Yeah.
Jason Lee was in that.
Yeah, it was before. No, it wasn't before Clerks. When was it? Because he played the love interest of Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, okay.
He owned a tiki bar and the mother-daughter like con artist team, and so she was taking a run at like an old guy, but her love interest was actually Ray Liotta, still smoking presumably, and
he hadn't gotten Channix.
He hadn't been on Channix yet, and then Jennifer Love Hewitt was like, "I'll run my own con," and this like random schmo who owns a bar, and it was Jason Lee skateboarding because he can skateboard.
Yeah. I saw that movie and remembered liking it, but I guess I don't remember much about it. I was in college when it came out, I think.
It was funny, but again, it was really embarrassing because like they kept having to do embarrassing things to keep the con going. Like she had to get up and like sing an entire song in Russian even though she doesn't know Russian. And she ordered a thing off a menu and it turned out to be fucking beef tartare.
Ooh.
So it's just like a plate of raw ground beef.
Nah, you won't like the trailer for this remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels again when Rebel Wilson goes into a train restaurant and sits down and is like, I'll have 3 cakes. Like, okay.
Because she's a big girl.
Yeah, like, this is the kind of remake this is, isn't it? Maybe it'll surprise me.
Maybe.
If it has the same twist that Serenity did, hell yeah.
What?
The other Anne Hathaway movie, the one with that Matthew McConaughey.
I thought you were talking about the Firefly movie.
No,
Bosch dies at the end?
No, yeah, well, that should happen in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels as well. No. Oh, I don't want to spoil.
Sorry, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen Serenity.
No. This is for you. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Oh! Okay. No, I think it got spoiled for me.
Did it?
Like, because it's like Truman Show?
Kind of. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, because someone on Twitter made a Truman Show joke. I'm like, oh, okay, then I think I got the gist.
A little, in the same ballpark, yeah. Oh boy, that movie blew my fucking mind.
It looked like it was just gonna be fucking Interstellar again, which made me not mind really missing it, but...
No, it's like the first half of it's like a film noir, like a Key Largo type thing, and then it gets science fiction-y.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing.
It's like a space beet farmer or something?
That was in Interstellar.
Okay, well I'm getting my movies confused again.
No, I liked Interstellar. This Serenity though, like, oh yeah, I hope you see this movie someday.
I mean, I probably will. We just watched Tag the other night, and I was telling you that I watched Cockblockers, which I fucking loved.
Cockblockers was funny, yeah.
I'm really sad I didn't see it in theaters.
I had to fly solo at that one. Can't even remember what I saw after that. I had like 2 movies that night. Did we get one more after that?
We sure did. We got 2 more.
Oh.
That was Men in Black International.
Oh, right.
Tessa Thompson's still adorable, so I'll probably enjoy her. Rocket Man.
That looks good.
This is the one, because like the first time we watched this preview, I was like, is that Danny Masterson? And you're like, I hope not. I
don't think...
I forgot about his particular allegations.
I don't think Danny's in this movie.
So this movie I'm still watching, I'm like, well, I know it's not Danny Masterson, because that hilarious exchange that me and Brad had last time. But I don't know who the fuck that is. So I turn and I'm like, who's that guy? And Brad's like, oh, that's Elton John. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. Here's the thing about when I said that, because yeah, like the trailer ends, you go like, who is that person? And
Did we lose the chat, or they just being real chill?
No, they're really like close,
must hear
intense
the
listening
Elton
to us.
John story.
So then when I replied to you like, oh, it's Elton John, you're like, fuck you, know who's the actor? Taron Egerton. So the first syllable of when I said that, maybe the L part of Elton John, was when there was like that split second when I thought you were genuinely asking me who the movie was about.
And then that guy with the glasses?
And in a split second,
he's really good at piano.
In a split second, I knew what you were asking me, but I still continued. So it was this weird train of thought where in the span of a name, it went from a split second of being genuine to fully sarcastic.
No, that I know I've done that to you before. So I'll take my lumps.
That movie looks so much better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Well, I like that it seems to have this sort of magical realism, and as I'm saying that, this conversation feels familiar, so probably we talked about that last time.
We got the trailer in front of something else.
But it's sort of like dreamy, and I'm like a lot of... I'm not huge on a lot of Elton John fan. Not a huge fan of a lot of Elton John
I hate
songs.
Elton John fans.
Fuck those fans! But they start playing like Benny and the Jets, which is a good song. They play Rocket Man, which is a good song. I'm sure they'll play my song, which is a good song. Your song?
Your song.
Yeah.
I hope they play the one from the ending credits of Lethal Weapon 3.
I hope they play
Runaway Train.
I hope they play the original song written for Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, God.
They're like swinging on vines in a greenhouse.
I hope it's the songs that they sampled in Romeo and Juliet, but just added gnome references to the songs.
Benny and the Gnomes.
Why did it have to address this part of his career? What, are you going to reference Kingsman 2 after this? He's in that movie.
Oh, no.
Which also had Taron Egerton in it.
Detective Pikachu.
Oh, yeah. We got that one.
No,
it looks good.
Only annoyed because I don't get to see that one.
No, yeah, it looks funny. It's still the same trailer that it's been for that. But yeah, that looks like it'll be pretty funny. Shit, this is the only movie I'm at tonight. It was only 80-some minutes. Sweet.
So presumably you'll take Ryan to see Detective Pikachu?
Yeah,
I'm thinking I can make him like some flashcards of like Pokemon on it. Like, who's that Pokemon? Diglett or whatever the shit.
Or Irving, maybe. Maybe he knows.
I feel like Irving would know more about Pokemon than Ryan would.
I know, it's like I don't know this for a fact.
I used to have a board game. Do you remember that board game where it was like, which of your friends is most likely to blah, blah, blah? And you had to try and like reach consensus?
No.
Of the people who were playing. We used it mostly to make fun of Nick's ex, but I was like trying to figure out my brain. Who knows more about Pokemon, Brian Irving or Ryan?
Dave used to watch Pokemon.
Dave got into Pokemon because of Pokemon Go.
Oh no, he used to watch it in high school.
Okay, are you sure? Because he swore up and down he didn't know shit about Pokemon.
Well,
How high was he at the time, though, maybe? So maybe this is like the lost years.
It was one of the, like, he would have it on because it was on, like, at 5 when he would get home from school, and he'd probably be sitting there sketching, and would have it on, and I would be sitting there. We were probably high. And, like, I'd be sitting there just going, I don't understand this. I don't like it. And Dave would be like, well, come on, it's fine. Like, I don't think this is for me.
Are you sure that was Dave? Because that does not sound like Dave.
It was Dave. It was him. But, I mean, granted, like I said, it's not like he was, like, intensely watching it or anything like that. It was just on. Like,
so you've watched Pokemon, you know all about them.
Oh, yeah. Everything. Only because I've seen Strokemon.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, yeah, that was a porno spoof I had to watch, like, a couple of years ago.
It's like having sex with a Pokemon?
Oh, yeah, Pikachu. And with Gash, I think, and can't remember the other names. I get asked.
Stop making me sad.
Oh, that's nothing. Like, that's what I watch when I need a break, because it only takes 10 minutes to get through those. Like, yeah, I still get asked, like, that must be horrible sitting through that. I'm like, are you kidding? I've seen E.T. get fucked in like 4 separate movies and 2 Sasquatch porns. This is par for the course of the shit. Of course, Pikachu's having sex.
No, because there's okay, first of all, I'm annoyed because that's gross, and he's like a young boy and his pet. And second of all, there are Pokemon, they're like humanoid that look like they could throw some dick. Why would you not use them? Fucking like Hitmonchan or whatever.
Has the name recognition.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Like,
Some
I've had to
tentacles.
See. What if I said to watch Tugrats? That was something.
Those are babies.
Oh, no, it's okay, because in this, there's several times I look in the camera to go, just so we're clear, we're playing adults who have a baby fetish. Or a diaper fetish.
They're adult teen babies.
Yeah. That was, had to watch, let's see, Nardians of the Galaxy, where when Groot dies and comes back as baby Groot, he's shaped like a vibrator. So I can tell you where this is.
He's just a baby!
Oh, not by the end. Man, I mean, they all. I think the last one I watched was SpongeBob SquareNuts.
That's just lazy.
Yeah, because halfway through they switch costumes.
The old one got pretty gross.
I guess it. It was a very good costume. It was very detailed, and then halfway through there was a much cheaper one they used, so maybe they had to get it back to the rental shop. You're not getting your deposit back, fellas. Anyway, that's porn talk with Brad and Sarah.
You see the guy on Pornhub who's making videos like, I take a taxi cab, and yeah. I love the shower one because everyone's all like, dude, replace your shower caddy. That thing is gross.
Ooh, this Pornhub video is too gross.
It's a pretty gross looking shower caddy. Like, you can buy a new one for like $10. He was wearing a cashmere sweater in that video.
That's how he's doing his. It's like that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer just started just like living in the shower and making his own food in there, like installed a garbage disposal in the drain.
Well, that seems safe.
Classic Kramer. It's next week. Is next week? Actually, I'm going to be at a con next week. I'm going to be at Wizard World Portland next week, so...
we have to figure out when that Fathom event is, because they're doing
My Fair Lady.
Fuck yeah, My Fair Lady.
Yeah, I'll look and see when that is. I hope next week the movie that's showing is How to Train Your Dragon 3, because I've already seen that and reviewed it. But, yeah, I don't know what comes out next week. So, anyway, that's... Sweet, we went 40 minutes.
Some movie's coming out next week, and we won't be watching it.
Yeah, I'll watch it when I get back. See ya. Thanks a bunch.